everyone. This is your host, your dost, Shweta Misra. Welcome to another exciting episode of Chit Chat with Shweta. As you all know, this is Mental Health Month going on. We are gonna talk a lot about inner peace, happiness, lot of that stuff. So, are you ready? Because I am so ready. You are watching Studio 4M from DC. So, having said that, 4M TV USA is a TV initiative from North America focused on mental health. 4M stands for mental health, migration, multi language, culture, and mindfulness. We are practicing mindfulness beyond borders. Yay. I believe that happiness is, inside. You don't have to really look for your happiness outside. You should believe in yourself and you will find your internal happiness. You have to talk to that important person that is you once a day. I believe in that. Well, मेरी तो बातें होती रहेंगी. So let's bring our very special guest, Sunitha Shambulingappa. Let me first introduce Sunitha. She is our very own Mrs. India DMV 2021. Mrs. India USA, second runner up. My God, the competition was tough, and this girl rocked the show. She has a beautiful voice, so maybe she can sing a little bit for us. Well, introduction doesn't end here. She is an entrepreneur. She is a spiritual healer, mom of two beautiful kids, my very dear friend, my very dear student who makes me very proud looking at you. Oh my God, I'm like, I want to see that crown on her head. Oh my God. Okay, let me give my energy. Sunitha, you are bringing all that energy. See,
Oh
like,
my God. Okay, let me tone it down then.
okay, so let's talk about Sunitha. Do you have any question for us? I have welcomed you and I will keep going on. I have tons of questions for you.
I don't
So
have
you,
any
your
questions.
turn
First of
now.
all, I would like to thank the Forum TV and Shweta for you for introducing me to this. And I think 4M very much aligns with what I'm doing. It's like mental health, mindfulness. And I really love the quote that they had. It said, mindfulness beyond borders. Oh my God. I mean,
Isn't it
that's
great?
exactly what mindfulness is, right? It's beyond you as a person, beyond you as a mind, beyond you as a body, beyond you as your heart. And like you're becoming one with the life, and that's what mindfulness at its very, very core level. And I really loved when they said mindfulness beyond borders. So I'm so happy. Thank you for MTV, and thank you, Shweta. I'm really happy to be here.
So, Sunitha, since we know that October is Mental Health Month, and I am so glad that my queen has given me chance to talk to her. Now, I mean, you're not, I will not, I don't see you as my student. I see you as a, she has a crown, and I know what crown, what it takes to get that crown, right? So it
I know,
wasn't,
I know.
it
You
was
will not
not
see
easy,
me as
right?
your student. I will always see you as my teacher. And thank you, Shweta. I mean, for people who did not know, who doesn't know a little bit background, Shweta was my coach for both my pageants. I don't come from a beauty industry or background or fashion background and so on. All I did was more into the technical background, which I do normal for my day-to-day living. On weekends, I'm the spiritual teacher. I help people in healing and so on. And somewhere this energy woke up and it's like, there's no way I cannot do this pageant. It was not like I'm going to use this pageant as a platform or anything like that. It was just so difficult for me not to do this. And then now that I'm already there, so what do I do to, like, try to use this as an impactful platform for me? And that's when I approached Shweta, and she happens to be one of the coaches for this whole, like, pageant industry in the DMV area. And I think I haven't looked back further on that, Shweta. and like the walking, and then like catwalk, and then my keep your head straight,
Sunita,
your
posture, posture,
position.
posture.
I know your posture. And anytime I would answer, like we had a lot of these question answers, like just just preparing me and so on. And she would like count for 30 seconds, and I'm like, please let me talk. Talking is my thing. I
You
want
have all
to
the time in the world today.
30 seconds. So it was a fun ride, Shweta, and I really appreciate what you did. Not just for me, I'm sure that for so many other ladies who are actually on this path, and somewhere we get to use this platform in a meaningful way, which is close to our hearts, right? It doesn't have to be in any one field that people usually go for. It could be like a spiritual, it could be it could be anything that a person wants to do. So thank you.
And while Sunita is talking about that, I mean, I want to bring up one point. I actually had that experience with Sunita. Sunita, remember when we were preparing for the nationals? And I said, Sunita, you have to stare in my eye. And this is another talent of this girl. She can really, oh my God, she can look into your soul. And then she started tearing up. And Sunita, would you like to share with our viewers? And I have no objection there. You can share with our viewers like what exactly you felt. She was looking into my eyes and she started like tearing up. Like, why are you crying? Did I intimidated you? But no.
No, it's just, I think it's the stating. I think as an energy healer, right? Sometimes you have to dig deep into the person. You have to I wouldn't say scan it, but for the mental, for our mind to understand, I'll just say you scan the person. And scanning not in a way to judge a person or so. I usually do that, just it just happens. I mean, it's not that I intend to do anything. It's just a quick scan. And we do a lot of chakra healing and so on, so I can easily say where the blockages are, or where a person needs to clear. So when I was looking at you're such a heart oriented person, and you know that, right? Like you connect more, not just in a loving way, but you're also a person who can take on a lot of difficulties from the other people, and you can suffer too. This is what I told you. It works both ways. It's not just the giving out part. You can also absorb everything, and sometimes you can get to suffer because of that, and you can feel sad for others and so on. So it was just that energy that I connected, probably, and my body probably reacted that way, and it was like, it's just a
Yeah.
soul to soul connection.
It was a very I would say emotional moment for both of us. Like I'm like, okay, let's just give each other a hug. And then that talk, oh my God, I'm still waiting to catch up with you. Like I know we both got busy with our stuff, and we need a reunion, girl.
I know,
We
we
need
all,
it.
I know it's been a
We
long
had
time.
so much fun during national, those crazy rehearsals, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't, I need sleep, right? We will be like there
I
until
know
like
how tough
12
it
a.m.
was.
and then from
I
8
know,
a.m. we again start rehearsal. Oh
I
my God,
know.
we hardly
And
got
I'm,
any sleep.
yeah, and I'm not a person who wears heels. I had a lot of back problem after that. And I go to my personal trainer, and her name is Diana, and she's helping me so much on that. So so
Yeah.
it's not all the fun ride with pageants, by the way.
So getting back to the topic, Sunita, tell us about mindfulness. What exactly is mindfulness, and why do we need it?
Okay, so we will that's a beautiful question. I think we will start with why we need mindfulness, right? Before we attempt to dive into anything, our mind and body wants to understand, why do we even need, what am I going to get from this, or why, right? So we live in a very fast-paced society. We are conditioned to do more. We want to do faster, get better results, achieve, desire more, which is all fine. But we miss that these actions should actually be coming from a core soul, or from a being perspective. And what usually happens is, these desires, these doing more and condition to do more, usually comes from our egoic desires, which is nothing bad or nothing good. It's just the way it is. And somehow the ego believes that happiness is success. Happiness means getting success, and success, which in turn means power, money, recognition. praise, appreciation, validation, approval. Like, you see, somehow we associate all of these, and then what happens is inner conflict begins. And then in psychology, there is something called as hedonic behavior. Hedonic behavior is our our happiness goes up when we do something, it comes back to the same level. And then somehow we feel that we need to keep doing more to feel that state of happiness. We need to do, like, want to
Like
get the energy
addiction of
up and
something,
running.
right?
Yeah, what is it?
It's like addiction of something that you're getting very
Exactly,
high, right?
exactly. Like you see this in a lot of high achievers, right? They go, they achieve, they do more and more because they want to get that high. It's like they feel high, but there is sometimes no other way for them to get that. And then there are also these inherent belief systems that are sitting. Like, let's say some person is not happy with the way they are currently doing. They will hear quotes like, "Oh, find your purpose, and you're going to be fine," right?
What's
And
that?
now,
What's that
like,
code?
yeah, like, find your true purpose, find your true calling, and everything will be fine in your life, right?
But
There's a
how do
very
you find that? How do you
Exactly. So there's a very common belief that we somehow think that I'm not happy doing what I'm doing because this is not aligned, which is correct, which is not aligned with who you are as a person.
Mhm.
But the purpose is not something that we go after and chase and then say, okay, today I am working in a corporate field. I'm going to leave that because I'm not happy. So I'm going to go look for, maybe I'll become a spiritual teacher, right?
Mhm.
It's the purpose that is being talked about is not the outer purpose, it's the inner purpose. It's the going through our inner conflict. That is the purpose, being present with what is happening, being completely mindful with what is happening. And what happens is, when these things keep on happening on years together, we go through something called as a cognitive and an emotional overload. And nobody taught us how to go through, how to release those energies, which is called as the emotional cognitive catharsis. That's the psychological term there. And then we don't even know how to simply experience something. Like, when I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, we're just experiencing it, right? There's no interpretation of that going on in the back of my head. Am I looking this way? Will people like it? Or, like, all of these thoughts, if it happens, right, what happens is we are not with each other, right? The energy is not connected, we are not being mindful there. So this eventually causes stress, going on and on and on, as stress, resistance to what is happening. We push away things we don't want, we hold on to things that we want. Push, pull, push, pull. Long term, this creates psychological impact, stress, inner problems, long term, like, chronic stress. And that's where mindfulness comes into effect.
So, Sunitha, you brought up a very good point. I mean, I'm personally experienced few of these symptoms, as you see. I mean, I have done a lot of things in life, like being a software engineer, being mother of two. I mean, all my friends know I started very early, and there are certain things I would like to experience, which I might have not experienced as a young girl who gets married quick
I know,
early, right?
I know.
And I feel that, I mean, people say that, oh, Shweta, how do you handle so many things? I still feel that, oh, I have 24 hours, I can still do more. I mean, I do my full-time job. I have my home to take care of. I have my kids to take care of. I have my pageant and dance studio going on. But I still feel I need to do more. I need to do more. Why? Why am I not
I think we
satisfied?
all,
What's
you.
driving it?
I think I hats off to you for asking that question, because not many even dare to ask such questions. Right? You're already there. I mean, that's all. That's it. The self inquiry. Why does it happen to me? Why do I need to be doing more?
Mhm.
Uh, Again, what I said is, like, there are moments of high that you reach. Like, you get into pageant, and I have seen the way you are, like, completely involved. 1 hour was not even 1 hour for us. 1 hour would go for 2-3 hours for us, right? Like, so you were completely involved in it. Your time stops, there is no interpretation, you're engaged in it. Literally, we became one, right?
Mhm.
It was not Shweta teaching Sunitha or something like that. It was an act of learning, doing, enjoying, right? And then what happens is, we're And we only have these pockets in our life. I mean, you always hear people say, do the things that spark you, right? And but you're not happy because you don't do the things that spark you. But mindfulness is beyond that. You will find spark in everything that you do. That's what mindfulness is. It's not just about pockets, because then what happens to the things that I do? Like I need to walk my dog, I need to pick up his poop, or like, these kind of day-to-day mundane things. We start going away from them, and that's where the ego comes. We don't want to do all of those because they're not keeping me happy. I want to
Mhm.
do big things because that's where I'm really connected. And if you see what it is that you're missing in all the other mundane things, is that connection, right?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
want to be connected, you want to be present, you want to be one with it, with whatever you're doing. And
Hmm.
mindfulness teaches you that, teaches you to be one with it.
So, can you go into the details of like the what are the components, and I mean, give us some examples like
Sure.
how I mean, when I'm hearing mindfulness teaches, I'm like, oh, is this some AWS class? I mean, being a software nerd, right? I'll be asking you all this technical question, but for me, it's like gibberish language, right? Oh, what is this? So, what is this mindfulness? I mean, what are the components of it? What are, I mean, I heard you saying that there are various components of it, right? So,
Correct.
can you give
Correct.
us examples
Yeah.
of those?
So basically what mindfulness is, our natural human ability to be aware, with three aspects of that awareness, or three qualities of that awareness. Like if you think about it as a triangle. I mean, you're a software person, so you kind of know that triangle that we usually have, right? Source, cost, and whatever that is, profit, or, or whatever that is. So
Rate of return.
I know.
What is ROI? Rate of interest.
The three components is, one is intention. Mindfulness teaches you how to bring back your awareness to your choice of present moment. So, what usually happens, Shweta, like let's say we are sometimes, I mean, it happens to all of us. We are talking with our kids, or we are talking somewhere, but then we are present there, but then our mind is somewhere. It goes off somewhere, and then we are thinking something, and not in a very negative way or something. It'll be, oh my God, I need to do so many things. I need to do that. I need to call up this person. I need to call up that person. Like, there's a big to do list that just keeps on going. And it's more for women, probably because we take care of probably so many things, like we are multitaskers. So the initial practice in mindfulness is how to intention. It's called intention, wherein you bring back awareness to your choice of present moment awareness, whatever that present moment awareness is. We'll go deeper into that details later on. I'll just list all the components. The second one is the attitude. This probably is the most important one. The quality of awareness that needs to be non interpretative, non judgmental, non commentary. Anything that's happening, we have a commentary, that voice inside our head that is going on. Or it's like, I'm feeling good, I'm not feeling good, I like it, I don't like it, is this person like it goes on and on and on. And sometimes you're like, just shut up, I don't want to hear you, I want to be present, right? So mindfulness practices will help you achieve that attitude. And finally, it's that intense attention, yet so relaxed within, that intense attention that people can just feel it when you're talking. People can feel that, what is it called, like there's a clarity in your speech, in your body language, in the
Mhm.
way you, like, your thoughts come out, in just your energetic way of being. And people can feel that. And that there's something about people who practice mindfulness for a long time. And eventually what happens, Shweta, is our mind, our heart, our body becomes one with the experience. There's a clash. Usually it's called as the non-dual awareness, or the Advaita, that we usually call, but that's too spiritual. But we won't go there. We'll just stop it here.
I want to, so I don't know much about mindfulness, but I heard this story and I would like to share it with my viewers and you. So there was this very unhappy king, and he was like, I am, or a king or a person. I mean, he was a very unhappy person, and he's like, he goes to this spiritual healer, and he's like, I want to be happy. Why am I so unhappy? I mean, and he's like, what does happiness mean? He's like, no, everyone around me, they are happy. He's like, okay, so go and bring one shoe of a person who's very happy. Okay, just one shoe of a person. He's like, what kind of deal is this? He's like, just go it and I will make you the happiest person on this earth. And then he goes to this beautiful girl. I mean, she has everything, and she's like, okay, can I? I mean, somehow he gets, he gets to her, and he's like, can I get you a shoe? And she's like, what? And he's like, no, 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 I just need your shoe. And somehow he convinces her, and then and he's like, but before that, I need to ask you one question. You have everything. You are so beautiful. You are so accomplished. You have everything in the world. I'm sure you are the happiest person on this earth. She's like, no, who said that? I have my own problems. I have a lot of stress because I need to keep, all this. I have to maintain all this, and to
Mhm.
maintain all this, I go through a lot of stress. So I'm not happy. And she's in. Then this guy's like, oh, you're not happy. So let me just go to some other person. And he go to someone who's very, very highly qualified, and he, has everything in the world. I mean, he's very, very qualified. But he's, like I would say, so much knowledge that everyone praises this person, that, oh my god, he's so brainy. And then he's like, oh, you are so brainy, and I'm sure that because you people admire you so much, so I'm sure you're very happy. Can I get your shoe? Like, who said I'm happy? I mean, to achieve all this knowledge, I have to go through a lot of stress of, always I'm in the quest of finding new things, and that creates a lot of stress, so I'm not happy. And so on. He gets to king also, who has everything. I mean, king people will think that, I mean, he has everything in the world, right? And he also says the same thing, no, I'm not happy. So the bottom line is, like, a lot of time, and because of, thank god to the social media. I don't know if we should really thank it or not. It's there is
Positives
a
and negatives.
lot of
Yeah.
yeah, controversy going on, that, is it a really a bliss or blessing, or a curse, right? So we look at other people and we're like, oh my God, they are so happy. They have this, and look at me, right? So we start comparing with others. So happiness, I believe, is inside. I mean, the minute you give, you or make someone else in charge of that, of your happiness, you become just, a puppet in their hand,
Yeah.
right? And so when you are talking about, you need to introspect, and you need to say you have 10,000 and you're not present at the moment, and you're not enjoying it, because your mind is, whole day you have seen 10,000 things, and your mind is occupied in 10,000 other things, that, oh, I need to get there, this person does that, so I will get there by doing that, right? So
I
we are
know.
so occupied that we are really not enjoying the small happiness that is around. It's like walking a dog, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
listening to your favorite music, dancing on your favorite music, right? Small, small things that which can really bring happiness. I mean, whole during COVID time, I have been practicing all that, and I mean, I also go through my ups and downs. I mean, I
I
have,
mean, yeah, absolutely. We all
yeah.
go through, and I think that's the part of the life. It's not that happiness is not something to be attained. I mean, if we try to go chase after happiness, it's a fleeting experience. You
Mhm.
cannot. I mean, if you imagine try to be happy all the time, imagine what your energy levels are going to be. They can go crazy. You need to ground them back, right? So
Yeah.
it's not the happiness. I mean, if you ask anybody what is their true, what is it that they want in life, they may say happy, but internally, right, like if you actually try to deconstruct, and mindfulness helps you to deconstruct all of those experiences too. If you say I want to be happy, it's like why, and then if you go back to it, those moments are the ones where you had that pure connection with life. Like imagine, I'm sure like a lot of our viewers who are being the mothers, right? The first time when you pick up, like as soon as you deliver, and the first time you pick up your baby, like I'm getting goosebumps just talking about that, because there's absolutely there's a kind of unconditional presence, and that's what is called love. Love has got nothing to do with our emotions and sensations and feelings and blah 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 and so on. It's
Yeah.
just that unconditional presence and connection that we have with whatever we are experiencing. Those are the moments we crave for. That's what our soul wants. That's what our energies want. That's what it is. That's what life is. But then we have this thought process. It's a lot about conditioning that is going on, and who deemed who is deemed successful, who is not deemed successful. Each person have their own perspective of what success is, and it's high, and which is very good, because every person is a different expression of what they deemed, or what they feel happy. But accepting that I'm completely different from Shweta, right? Like, I'm completely different. We
Yeah,
may be doing the same things, but your interests and what lights up your soul and your spirit is completely different from what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And if I look at you and then say, no, I want to be like Shweta, it's done. It's done. It's going to be like a rock bottom thing for me. That's not what I want. That Yeah.
Right, and you just said a very good thing that giving someone unconditional love. They're not putting condition, not bringing the element. Oh, I did this, and you need to do that. The minute we start putting that in our life, like as you said, when a mother hold her child for the first time, that unconditional love which comes, we don't think, oh, this child is gonna grow up, become this,
I know.
and then okay, I am set for my old age.
I
Okay,
know.
I don't have to. No, we don't think that way.
I
What
know.
the first feeling is, I need to nurture this
Yeah.
living human, right? I need to take care of this human. That is true love, right? That is true
Yeah.
happiness.
And true love is, yeah, and true love is something that, when we go a little bit deeper into spirituality, we understand true love may not even be something that as humans we like it. Like I may have unconditional acceptance presence to somebody that as a human I wouldn't even want to be with that person. Like, you see, like what because like what the mind comprehends what is love, or what the even the heart comprehends what love is, right? The heart also is based on what emotions we feel. It's beyond that, because I usually see in the spiritual circles, like, you're in the mind, just fall into your heart and everything will be fine. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, we are a whole human being. We need to use our mind when we need to use the mind. We need to use our heart when we need. We go to our gut feeling, our core. That's the root chakra that is there. We need to go there, because that's where, like, solid confidence, like unshakable confidence, that is there. And we also need to go through our energetic. It's a whole being, right? There is no one thing fits the bill. And experience everything. Be happy,
And I
like
feel,
experience.
yeah, and I feel, as you know, I mean, now we have worked together for so many months for during this pageant journey. You know that I'm a very heart driven person, and I always find myself in a situation where I feel that, and that's what I need to practice. That I start having expectation. I feel that oh, people are just there to take advantage of me. They are just there to tear not for my heart, but for what I have. See the
I,
materialistic
I,
things.
I completely, yeah, I understand. So, well, we can dive a little bit deep into that aspect. And I so appreciate you, Shweta. It takes guts for you to go there on live and then talk about this, because this is something that you're going through, and it's so nice that we get to talk about this. So this becomes a norm. Like, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to
Yeah,
feel certain way, and it's life is not perfect, and we
yeah.
all go through ups and downs.
So to
So.
my viewers, yes, I have a crown. I look very happy. I look very bubbly. Yes, I am. But I also have my down days.
We all it's that's the part, that's the part of being a human, right? being
Yeah.
being a human, being spiritual and human, where life becomes one. So Shakespeare, who was that? Yeah, I think it was Shakespeare who once said that there is no good or bad. It is what we make in our minds, right? And sometimes what happens is, Shweta, so there are different levels of consciousness. We start with being a victim consciousness, and at this patch, what happens is, for example, you being a very person who is completely heart, like, you can open your heart, and you receive everything there. You can receive good, and you can receive, like, not so good, for you to manage those emotions, right? You're still not able to manage all of the emotions that are coming in, and there are moments when you go down. So the way that you can apply mindfulness into those techniques is, what does it mean to not interpret the situation, right? And this happens all the way, when you go from the victim consciousness stage to, there is something called manifestation consciousness. Here you can see high achievers manifesting a lot of things that they desire for, which is just a tool for me. Manifestation is just a tool. You have money, go get something. Manifestation is a tool for me, because there are so many stages
I
after the
just want
manifestation.
to manifest all happiness and positive
Me too.
energy. I mean,
You
that's
may
how
not
I am.
be, even when you have that, the reason you manifest is, that there are a lot of these tools and techniques, right? Law of attraction, law of manifestation, attract your frequency, which all will work, period. I mean, these are tools, they will work. But then there's a person called Michael Beckwith. He's one of my teachers. He talks wherein being a victim, you go to the manifestation consciousness. What is after manifestation consciousness? So now, okay, you kind of feel that you have everything. Like people, like as you said in the story, people who have everything, that they probably manifested a lot during different. There are so many ways to manifest things. You are there. Are you still feeling connected? You're still not happy. You're struggling to keep it on and again and again. And now there's also it's something called as a spiritual cul-de-sac. A lot of, like, I actually teach other spiritual teachers too, who are actually in this cul-de-sac. They have learned the art of manifestation, but then the true calling is to go beyond manifestation. But then see, manifestation is very attractive, right? Like,
Mhm.
you can imagine something, you visualize it, it can happen.
Yep.
But then what happens is those manifestations are happening from your egoic desires, right? You have still not experienced what being is, which is beyond the level of manifestation. That's called the open awareness being, like, wherein the kind of thought process that happens is, I'm actually not doing anything. Things are just happening. Life is just flowing through me, right? And there are some people who experience, quite a lot of people who are actually experiencing this. I don't know what's happening in the planet right now. A lot of people are experiencing that. And there's something beyond that also. It's called as the being consciousness, wherein we don't want to go deep into it. It's the no self experience, just a simple natural state of being, blah blah blah, and so on. So what happens during whatever you said is, you absorb a lot of things,
Hmm.
and then mindfulness will help you just to sit with that, and then have the capacity to actually experience those emotions just as energetic
Hmm.
things that are just happening. No, but what happens to you is, you get that feeling. Now there's a story that goes on in your mind. Maybe somebody's taking advantage of me. I'm being used, or I'm being like, you see how we build a story, how we attach a story. Instead, something happened that you did not like. Sit with that, surrender to, and surrender is not a, yeah, no, again, when I say that, it's not like, I'm going to surrender no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to take that. No, it's not that way. Surrender is the most courageous thing that any person can do. Surrender is the path into spirituality, period. There is no, because every tool leads only to surrender. When I say surrender, it's about, I'm experiencing this feeling. Let me just experience. What happens to me? Your body is not going to let you do that. It's going to create problems. It's like, oh, something is happening. This
I'm
person.
sick through my stomach. I feel like
Exactly, you go
throwing
through
up.
your
I will
stomach.
try
Yeah,
to
butterflies
focus.
going through, or like, because those are the energetic holes that we have, because those are the identities that you have built. And usually how these identities get built is, something would have happened in the past, whether you're a kid, teenager, how many ever years back, or even in a few years ago, or whatever. So for you, being that victim conscious, being in that stage of victim consciousness actually helped you. It put a defense
Hmm.
structure around you so that you are not vulnerable. This is happening to me, and I should not be. This is the interpretation. That way I am not feeling vulnerable. However, what happens if you try to feel that experience? You become super vulnerable, which you don't want to do. Mindfulness helps
Well,
you with that.
yeah, see, that's what I feel, that, every time I have, or I'm in a situation where I don't like the things, or I don't expect the things that's happening around me, and which is kind of a unpleasant surprise for me. What I do is, I over the years, actually, see, being in the position where I am, I have definitely gone through a lot of those aches, and And I feel that either God has given me that power, or I don't know, somehow gotten that power. Have started self healing. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember the first time where I had like incident where I felt like really betrayed and I was not very happy about the situation. I'm like, okay, this is end of the world. I mean, this should not be happening. And I was so vulnerable, like, but slowly, I think sometimes you really, as you said, you need to sit down and, embrace that thing and go through that process,
Yeah.
right? And then, because first is hurt, right? Suppose, I'm learning to ride a bike. I will fall down a couple of times. I will scrape my hand, and I cannot expect that I should get the new skin. I have to go through the pain of that. I have to take care of that, and yeah, slowly it heals. So time is a big healer that I have
Yeah.
learned over the time, right? And uh, so as you said, I have started doing. When I feel the pain, I go through that pain. That
Yeah.
okay, I am in pain. I accept it. Let me
and,
go through.
and go through it and I think that's the 101 of any healing methodologies. You just
Mhm.
go through the pain and say, and it's not easy. I mean, I'm just telling that it's such a simple thing because
It's not.
it's not, because when you go beyond your mind and heart, what
Mhm.
you experience is precognitive, pre-emotional. There's no emotion attached to it. There's no thoughts that are going to come up there. It's just a severe energetic movement that's happened, and it's like it's a severe fear that holds on to you that you don't want to experience.
And
So
listening to this, I'm tearing up.
no,
Can you believe that? Just listening to this, because it brings back all those memories where you see, I'm choking right now, right?
it's
Where
okay,
I
it's
have
fine.
gone
Yeah.
through, yeah, yeah. And every human on this earth, they do
Yeah.
go through. I mean, people think that how we look in from outside.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
are. No, we are human. We go through
Yeah.
pain, right?
Yeah, you know my story too. Like 15, 16
Yeah,
years ago, I had a hand surgery, and
yeah.
I had a severe nerve damage, and I
Hmm.
couldn't feel the whole hand from for many months together.
Yeah,
And doctor said 50-50 chance. And what does 50-50 mean? Like, it just means who knows what's going to happen,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then and I was not married at that point of time. I was still a young person, and then working and everything. And I was a super high achiever, like, my studies or my work and career and everything. I thought I thought I manifested everything, and I had everything under control. And it gave me such a jolt that I had to go through the suffering. I had anxiety issues, I had panic issues, I had arrhythmia, I had like so many issues that just cropped up, which I never knew even existed within me. And as you said, the way out of suffering is through suffering. I mean, I want to
Mm.
repeat this for everybody. There is no way out of suffering if you don't have the intention that it's okay to suffer, that it's okay to accept, that it's okay to welcome those sufferings. There is no way out, and that's what is surrender. Oh my God,
Mm.
I love that. I'm gonna I'm gonna write
No, I
that
mean, see, you are talking about, and I remember, when we were having our coaching sessions, also a lot of
down.
time. I mean, I not just once, I think two, three incidents happened where we both were in tears, right? So I mean, I'm a super emotional person, so
Yeah,
I
I know
cry.
you're very emotional. Yeah, yeah, I have observed that. So
Yeah, so it's very easy for me to. I'm
yeah,
like,
I
okay,
know,
I
I
have
know.
that
I can
always
feel
ready.
that. I can feel that now.
You can feel the energy,
I can feel it.
right?
Yeah, I can feel your tear. I can feel it. So,
Yeah.
so why is it so tough for all of us to be like, mindfulness seems like a simple practice. Oh, get back to present moment,
Yeah.
whatever is happening, and then just pay attention, and don't just talk about it, don't interpret it. So what's the big deal, right? So why does this usually happen? So there's some kind of a conditioning that we go through, right? Like, I'll give you several examples of these conditioning. A young boy cries, and then parents will say, boys don't cry, or strong kids don't cry. So now what the boy does is, or what that strong kid does is, put put a defense mechanism around it. Whenever that emotion tries to come up, is, I am not going to experience that emotion, I'm going to put a defense mechanism, a big fort around me, and then those emotions get suppressed, and these are called as shadow emotions or shadow parts of us that needs to be like seen through. Those are like the energy leakages that happen. That's what we call it. Or like, very frankly, Shweta, uh, the other important issue that I see in a lot of people I coach is something called as like the worthlessness issue. And these somehow happen in extremely high achievers. It's and I'm
You have
used
seen
to
that
that.
in me, remember?
So
You
it's got like, it's these people are like really achieving, they're doing a lot of things and so on, but then they go through this self-worthlessness, and then they think that they need to do more. So what happens here is, when during your younger days, for some people who really have that issue, they would have been appreciated, or they would have been given attention or the love or the presence from their parents or people only when they achieved something. Otherwise they were like kind of not neglected. Or what happens in people with excellence is, you're always exceeding. So like, you're again exceeding, nobody like, not much attention is given. But for a
Mhm,
kid that was not exceeding and it exceeds, there's a lot of attention that goes. So what
mhm.
happens to this kid is like, oh, I'm not getting the attention, and the only way for me to get that attention or that love or that presence from the other person is by achieving. And then this goes into this mentality, and then
Vicious
and
circle.
yeah, it sits there, and the self-worthless, that the self-worthlessness is the gut release of energies. That's the core, the fear, self-worthlessness, and loneliness, right? Being like the fear of
Oh,
being alone
Sunita,
in
it
life.
feels like you're talking about my
No,
life.
it's not just you. We all are same. We all have the same energy. We all have the same chakras that are going. It's not just, it's I can bet it's that way for like 99% of the population. It's nobody is safe from it, and nobody is harmed by it, but it's just our fear. So they get into like, I have I am I was I'm coaching one spiritual teacher. He has gone into kind of being like a healing narcissist, like a spiritual narcissism. And I'm healing because I want to do more. I'm healing because I want to do more. But then why? Because, and then when you dig deeper, you understand that the core issue there was not all the surface things that needed to be healed, but it was the self-worthlessness that was causing problem. And once you see that, once you reflect that back, you're like, oh my god. And then from somewhere that self-confidence comes in, with absolutely doing nothing. The inspiration comes from the energy starts moving with doing nothing. You don't have to do anything, but still actions happen. And that's where mindfulness will eventually take you. I'll stop there. Sorry, go ahead.
So do we have any, meditation techniques or any healing techniques people, can practice? Because, now you're bringing up this point of self worth, self acceptance, all those things, right? That, hey, I don't need approval from anyone. I don't need present from anyone. I don't need, any, outside acceptance. I need to first accept, because a lot of us don't, right? That's the
Yeah.
sad part of our society. A lot of us don't. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have to ask me that, Shweta, you have achieved so many things, are you satisfied? I'll say, nah, I still look for approval from others. Hey, am I doing everything okay? So how do we really come out of this vicious circle, right? How do we
Yeah.
really come out of this thing and say, hey, I don't need anyone's approval. I am content. What I am doing is enough. How do we
Correct.
practice
Yeah.
that?
Once again, I adore you and admire you for accepting that. It's not easy. So beautiful, a beautiful human being you are, and you're directly talking from your heart, and I can feel it. And that's why those things are coming out without any feeling of I'm going to be
And we are
vulnerable.
not even reading the scripts, what we decided.
And now we are not even going through the questions that we had. So
Yes.
we are completely moving to a different
And
territory.
that's what Shweta is about, right? People will get me, "Oh, but
Fine.
I'm like,
You know what? Yeah,
forget it.
I think I think I can feel that you are emulating what others are feeling, right? You are putting words into whatever they are thinking. And because we all, at the core, we all are same. So how do we apply this to healing? Mindfulness. So the first aspect is I'll again use mindfulness as a three things: intention, attitude, and attention. Like, so these three components, we'll always apply this. Mindfulness is just a way of life. Once we get these concepts, we can do that for anything: relationships, work, spirituality, or anything that we want to. So we'll talk about for the healing aspect of it. So if you, oh, this is so interesting. I love doing this. You don't know how excited I feel about this. And this is what I do almost like every day, but I still get excited.
You're
So
with the right person. That's
I
why,
know,
right?
I know. So if you take any experience, okay, the moments wherein you have been extremely ecstatic and blissful and happy and so on, versus one of the most down moments in your life experience, what does that experience, how does that experience communicate to you? There are only like from there are a lot of ways it can communicate, but we will use the three levels. One is the mental. There is the experience will tell you, like, oh, this is happening, or that there's some kind of a mental talk. And in your heart you feel some kind of an emotion, right? Whether you're sad, you're angry, or you're jealous, you're whatever that is, hate, or whatever, fear, or so on. And then your physical sensations, your racing heartbeats, uneasiness in your stomach, something is going to happen, you're shivering, you're trembling, and like, something is happening, right? Any experience you take, you deconstruct into these three high level components. What is the thought telling me? What is the emotion I'm feeling? What is the sensations happening in my body? And now with mindfulness, what happens is we will apply the same technique. We will apply the technique of what is it called, the intention. Meaning, no matter what's happening in the outside world, that person said something, or this person says I'm the best, I don't care which side the spectrum is, good or bad, I'll come to my this is what is called diving deeper. This is what is called going inner, right? So what is happening? So I sit, the first step is I sit as an observer, and I observe my thoughts. So when Shweta tells me, Sunitha, you're the best, what happens? Oh, Sunitha, you are great. You did what you wanted to achieve. Or when Shweta tells Sunitha, you are so horrible, like for whatever, right? Like you're not good. And then the thoughts come into my mind. And what do I feel? My emotions go like, she should not have said this. I feel like betrayed, or like so, or I feel like I have achieved something in my life because Shweta called me I'm the best, right? You see how all the way that the two spectrums. Or I feel fearful because Shweta said that I'm not good. I feel, oh, it is questioning my worthless, like, she's questioning my esteem, my worth, my everything, my self-respect, or so on. Or she's making me more confident, right? That's all is happening. That's all is happening. So in mindfulness, you sit with it, and then you can practice this every moment. So that's what I love about mindfulness in a contemporary world. We don't have to go be a recluse, or we don't have to lead a life of a celibate, or anything like that. We can still be in this world, use the triggers that are happening in our world, and apply these techniques. And then you always, no matter what's happening, your intention is to come back to your inner world and observe what's happening. Mental thoughts, emotions, this. And then whatever those thoughts and emotions and sensations are happening, sit with it.
It's
That's all.
hard.
It,
It's
it
hard.
is. That's why it says a practice. It's a lifelong practice. It's not something that we want to do something and we want to achieve and we want to get a checklist. No, everybody practices this. And then what happens is, after a while, believe it or not, it just becomes normal. It just becomes, that's the way of life. Like, like initially we had to learn English, like A, B, C, D, and then words and so on. Now I don't even think that I'm learning or I'm talking English. It naturally comes, right? So that's how it is. So now, so there is the attitude is that no interpretation. Something breaks open, my heart suffers because somebody said something to me. I'm going to sit with it. And believe it or not, Shweta, that the kind of unshakable acceptance that you have within, that energy, that when it starts waking up, there's nothing that in the external world can 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 even come closer to it. And then from that place, which is completely content, which is completely happy, which is completely confident, now your true authentic expressions begin to come into being. Like that's what is called as the flowering of the human consciousness. Now there is nothing within me that's stopping the energy from flowing, so I become a true expression of who I am, period.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
whatever way, maybe I talk well, maybe I sing well, maybe whatever that is, in whatever way it wants to enjoy, right? In whatever way
Yeah.
the shakti wants to take different expressions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the 101 of healing. It's not easy to do. That's why we have so many techniques to do. But this, in a gist, this is what healing is all about. Sit with those, understand.
So, if you have to sum up mindfulness meditation is in just a small word or a small para, I mean, how does it change people's life if they practice mindfulness meditation?
So again, I think I'll use the same sentence that I said initially. um, you do to feel joy, happiness connected in life, you don't have to do the things that spark you, because
Mm.
you as a human being have lot of things, lot of identities, lot of roles that you need to take care of. Mindfulness helps you find spark in every single thing that you do, not the things that you mentally like or your heart desires, but in everything. Having this cup of coffee is equally as important as my spiritual meditation practice that I
Are
do.
you having a filter coffee?
Yeah, I'm having a filter coffee, like the proper filter
When are
coffee.
you going to invite me, man? I need
I
filter
should, yeah,
coffee.
yeah. Like the
Last
filter
time Rashid
coffee.
promised me, I'm still waiting for my coffee,
And
but
coffee and
I,
bisibele
I
baat.
need filter coffee.
Coffee. So I think we have somewhere. One thing that I really want to specify is somewhere we have this thought process that I only need to be doing the things that my heart desires, or my mind tells me, or my body feels good. But I think it's time for all of us to go beyond that, finding happiness, or not even happiness, finding that content and peace and connection, that presence in every mundane things that we do is the true form of life, because I sincerely believe we just don't have a life, we are life. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sunita. It was great chit chatting. I need to connect with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
As everyone goes through their ups and downs, you felt my energy, so we need to sync up. But before saying good night to my viewers, we would like, Sunita and I, we both would like to wish happy Navratri to all our viewers. It's the biggest festival in India, 9 days. These 9 days are like symbol of Shakti, right? Sunita, would you like to give some message to our all our viewers?
No, I think the Shakti is already within all of us. Find the Shiva, the Shakti will take all the different expressions in your life. And please honor every single expression of your life, no matter how good you feel or how bad you feel about those things. Welcome every form of Shakti that is there within you. And that's when you become a true expression, an authentic expression of yourself. And happy, happy, happy Navratri to everybody.
Hey, don't go like this. You are a great singer. Just sing one line for
Oh
us.
my God.
Anything you like.
I
Anything
talk
you
so much. My
like.
Hmm. Okay, now that we're all about presence and so on and in the moment and so. हाँ, धूप में जलते हुए तन को छाया पेड़ की मिल गई, रूठ बच्चे की हंसी जैसे फुसलाने से फिर खिल गई, कुछ ऐसा ही अब महसूस दिल को हो रहा. I don't know, I'm not getting the
No, you're great. Great. Go.
पुराने रकम पे मरहम लगा सा है, कुछ ऐसा रहम इस लम्हे ये लम्हा कहाँ था मेरा, अब है सामने, इसे छू लूं जरा, मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा. Thank you.
That's so awesome, Sunitha. Thank you, thank you. You have
Thank you so much.
never disappointed me, and I'm not saying all this just to please you. You know, I'm saying it with all
I
my
know.
heart.
I feel it. I feel it. Thank you so much, Shweta, and thank you for MTV for giving us the opportunity. And I hope this makes some change or some transformation in some people who are watching this. And I'm a spiritual teacher. Please reach out to me. I also hold on one-on-one sessions, group sessions. So reach out to me if you think I can help you in your journey.
Definitely. And if you would like to get any help from Sunitha, I highly recommend her. She is very famous, popular here. I am also trying to get some time with her. It was hard to get her time. So, I'm blessed that, we got this 1 hour with her. And if you want to reach out to her, you can go to our 4M channel site and or 4M channel page. We are going to post all that information, and or you can directly reach out to us on Facebook, and you will always see your host here, the Shweta, every Wednesday. I will keep bringing some exciting, interesting guests. And I would also like to know what would you like to hear in our next week's session. And I want that suggestion coming from viewers. I know I because right now what I'm doing is I bring everyone like what I feel will benefit the society and the community. But if you guys have any suggestion, I have all ears for you. And thank you everyone for watching 4M from DC. This is your host Shweta signing off. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye bye.